Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grand Garden of the MGM Grand Hotel, Casino, and Theme Park of Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight, Fight Night and main events, along with Top Rank Incorporated in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present World Championship Boxing. On behalf of the aforementioned, our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Mr. Dan Duva and Ms. Carol Hamp, who are unable to attend tonight. This bout is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation and the World Boxing Association with the approval and sanctioning of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Dr. James Nave, Commissioners at ringside, Nat Carasali, Luther Mack, Dr. Elias Ghanem, and Crispin Rivera, Executive Director Mark Ratner. Chief Physician is Dr. Flip Homansky. Also at ringside, Dr. James Wishgame and Dr. William Berliner. The timekeeper is James Cavan, counting for the knockdown seconds, Mike Lascella. Representing the International Boxing Federation, President Robert W. Lee, and Supervisor ringside, Alvin Goodman. Representing the World Boxing Association as Supervisor is York Van Nixon. The scoring for this bout will be done by 3 judges. It will be done on the 10-point must system, and the 3 judges assigned are Dwayne Ford, Chuck Giampa, and Jerry Roth. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, working in his 71st world title bout, referee Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of the Grand Garden Inn, the MGM Grand Hotel, Casino, and Theme Park, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, in the blue corner, wearing red and weighing 250 pounds, this 1968 Olympic gold medalist has a professional record of 72 victories against 4 losses. 67 of those victories have come by way of knockouts, and his KO to win ratio is the greatest in heavyweight history. And tonight, he comes into this ring looking to add his name to another page of heavyweight history. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Houston, Texas, the challenger, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman. And across the ring in the red corner, wearing gold with red trim, weighing an even 222 pounds. This 2-time world champion brings a perfect professional record of 35-0, and 30 of his victories have come by way of knockouts. He is only the second man in the history of this sport to successfully step up from the World Light Heavyweight title to the World Heavyweight Championship. Tonight, he steps into this ring ready to put his perfect record on the line in his first heavyweight title defense. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, presenting the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Moore.
All right, Michael, George, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Give me a good, clean fight, and bear one thing in mind. I'm the boss man in here. Take hands, good luck.
I'm the boss man in here, says Joe Cortez as we start. It was the Sunshine Showdown. It was the Rumble in the Jungle. That's what Foreman's known for. But tonight, he's looking to turn back the clock against that man, Michael Moorer. He's young, he's determined, and he's a betting favorite with the bookies here in Las Vegas. Foreman managed to get himself in a great shape, as you can see. Now, the interesting thing is, George has been out of the ring for nearly 18 months. That's what I think has influenced the people that make the odds in this casino city, this gambling haven. Mora in the yellow shorts, the gold colour of the Kronk, and the southpaw. That means he leads with his right hand. Big George, well, he leads with his left. He sticks with the left, doesn't use the right too often. Not as active this time round, Big George, as he was the first time round. A 10-year gap, but this, the 30th fight of his return to the ring after 10 years. The shorts, if you're a boxing expert, you probably recognize them. Yes, they are the shorts he wore when he lost to Muhammad Ali, when he lost the World Heavyweight title in 1974 to Muhammad Ali. George, big, ponderous left jab, a great weapon, especially if you're slightly taller than your opponent, if your opponent's a southpaw. George Foreman's one right hand around just slipped in there. Mora so much faster and in theory so much quicker. Big George can sap and drain the strength out of fighters. Mora there getting through with a short left from the outside. George saw it coming and didn't do much to avoid it. He says at this age he doesn't need to be taught anything new in the gym, he just needs to be reminded. And with Angelo Dundee in his corner, that's a man that can well and truly remind him about everything he has forgotten. Because he admits that's what's happened. I'm not the same fighting man, Foreman said recently. Refusing to say whether he's better or worse. It's a decent jab from Mora. It's being blocked, it's being parried, but whilst he's using it, George is not working, not able to work, not able to set himself, not able to find any gaps, any openings himself. Of course, a great shock just a few months ago here on a balmy April night when Michael Mora overcame tremendous betting odds and tremendous odds to beat Evander Holyfield and win the WBA and the IBF heavyweight title. It was a close decision. Mora just doing enough to convince the judges that he deserved the belts. George ringside that night, watching closely, taking mental notes. There's the bell, or there's the clap for the clappers. 10 seconds, few seconds left here in the opening round. Michael Mora will go back to Teddy Atlas. Big George will lumber back slightly slower to the wise words of Angelo Dundee. There's Teddy Atlas in the corner.
Get water in you. The hardest part of the fight is over. The first round. Now you know it's not make-believe anymore.
Teddy Atlas telling him
our sparring partners were better.
The hardest part of the fight is over. You know what he's made of.
Right or wrong?
Our sparring partners were better.
Give him a little water. Now listen, what he's trying to do is set you up for one shot. Listen to me closely. He's trying to sneak punch you. I don't want you standing at the same range. You got to step out of range every once in a while. He's got you slowly standing at his range where he can find you with the right hand. All right? Come on. Give me that there. My piece.
There's Dundee calling for Big George's mouth guard. They're relaxed. They've grown old together, those two.
Be very alert. Change your distance and move to the side.
There's Big George. He's up. Just as Mora's found out what Foreman's made of, Foreman has also found out what Mora's made of. Little skip in George's step there as he rushed to the center of the ring. Atlas, an astute judge of boxing, a good reader of fights, as they say in the fight game. And sure enough, that right hand, that was coming across rather ominously. Not quite full force, just a rangefinder. There's Big George's real rangefinder, the big, hefty jab. And that is a hefty, solid jab. Mora needs to use speed. He needs to vary the quality and the range of his shots, and he needs to also keep moving his head and not stand still waiting for Big George to drop that right hand in or bring that right hand up. Mora, he's younger, 26 to Foreman's 45. Slightly faster start than many people expected, to be perfectly honest. Foreman looking to comfortably just push Mora away. About a 5-inch, nearly 6-inch reach advantage, and Big George using every single quarter inch of it. Just moving outside, moving away from Mora's backhand, the left hand they call it, the southpaw left cross. Big George durable, tough and hard, but at the same time that much older and therefore possibly that much more vulnerable as the fight progresses. That's the logic, that's the thinking. That is a good jab from Foreman. Mora landing more punches perhaps, but George is certainly the more thudding, the more telling, the more powerful, and that means the more hurtful punches. Mora can't throw lazy shots like that. That will not please Atlas. It could lead to disaster later in the fight. Big George seemingly comfortable, happy taking that straight right hand, knowing that what comes after he takes a shot is he lands a big jolting left jab. I think people expected as the week progressed to see George try and somehow get to Mora's body, slow him down. That's a good right hand, the best punch of the fight so far. Mora took it quite well, but you knew he'd taken a shot, then comes back with his own short right hook over the top of Foreman's fairly low hand. Unusually good exchange this early in a fight. Most people didn't predict the fight to be as sharp and lively as this at the start. It is, it's working, it's opening up nicely. Foreman standing there, Big George, he's a big man, he's a Goliath of a man. Charlie Shipes there just talking in his ear, just telling him, looking for the right hand, everybody identifying the right hand, Charlie talking about it.
Come on, somebody put a little water on this here.
Water, baby, water. That's an elderly corner.
Get in another bout.
Stay close, you're better off.
Angelo saying, stay close, you're better off.
Move to your right, where you're moving away from his right hand, because that's what he's looking to sneak punch you with. Every once in a while you stop. Move to your right, away from his right hand. All right?
Sensible advice from Teddy Atlas there. Get away from that right hand.
A little bit to go at a slow pace.
A bit alarming that they are using an end swell on Mora's right eye. Here we go, round 3, MGM Grand Garden, the IBF and the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World on the line. Michael Mora in the crunk gold shorts. George Foreman in the shorts he wore that night in Zaire, the Rumble in the Jungle, when he lost his World Heavyweight title. He's managed to get back into them. Everybody seems to be identifying Foreman's right hand. Charlie Shipes in George's corner. And Teddy Atlas, the man who looks after and sometimes lives inside the head of Michael Mora. It's been a faster start than people expected, a better fight than people expected. Seems hard to think that George Foreman might just be growing in confidence, seeing as this is his 77th fight, but in this fight he's certainly looking, he's experimenting, and you can see he's looking to unload that right hand, he's looking for the gap, not wasting punches. Mora staying busy. Still somehow being walked onto the right hand. There's one just on the back of the ear behind the guard. Big George circling to his left, hoping that Mora then moves into the path of that big clubbing right hand. George bossing the ring, even in retreat he seems to be bossing the ring, controlling the centre of the ring, the all-important centre of the ring.
Get him out.
Joe Cortez has been an invisible man up until this point. That's a good right hand. Stopped Mora in his tracks. George looked for it. In fact, George has spent the best part of 2 minutes looking for it. Big George not afraid to take the shot. There's the right hand again. Left himself hoping for the counter. Took the counter on his shoulder. There's the right hand again. That's a good right hook, a southpaw right hook. And George Foreman forced the hole. The feeling before the fight in the press room and in the press, the feeling was that Michael would be too sharp, too fast, too young, and Big George too slow and too big and too old. George had taken a good right hook there, good southpaw right hook. Michael looking to land another quick one. George will, that's it. It's always the jab with George, it's always the jab. It's a big solid jab and a short right and a fantastic left hook. Just caught the guard hand in front of Mora's face. Mora switching to the body, there's a lot of it. You could close your eyes and still catch part of George's body. He's not bothered. As he says, it's relaxed muscle. That's what Mora somehow has to try and do. He has to somehow try and push this enormous man backwards. Push him backwards, make him backtrack and try and catch him as he's going. Good round for Mora, good right hooks, good straightforward left crosses and going for the body. George breathing heavy, suddenly looking every single day of his 45 years. Teddy's happy with that, they touch gloves, that's right. Let's listen to Teddy.
Listen to me very closely, nothing else. Take a deep breath, kid. That's the half, not the whole round, but the last part of the round is the first time you didn't let him you kept it at your pace, and what happened? It was the way we expected, right? You started finding him, and you started getting to him, right? If he was in camp, he couldn't last. Don't allow him to go at slow pace. Now, I want you moving to your right more. You're moving too much to your left.
Teddy summing it up perfectly. You've got to dictate it. It's got to be on your terms, not on his terms. You're the young man. You're the champion. You go out. You set the pace. You set the tempo for the fight. The big man can't live with you. As Teddy said there, if he was in camp, he wouldn't have lasted. But this is not camp. This is the MGM Grand. There's nearly 18,000 people inside this arena. This is the big time. This is the real time. Round 4, Joe Cortez skips out of the way. We seldom see Cortez. Not been involved. Mora had a fantastic third round there. Big George will need to establish himself again with the jab and drop in that thunderous right hand. Keep it coming in. Knowing full well that it's possible to dispirit, to break Mora's heart. Evander Holyfield nearly did it in the last fight. Michael Mora was leading and then Holyfield pushed back in April outdoors at Caesars, just down and across the strip from where we are here tonight. And on that occasion, Atlas managed to get Mora through it by showing pictures of his family to him during the 1 minute intervals. It worked. Mora took the decision. Holyfield went off to hospital. George needs to be busier. He knows he needs to be busier. Angelo Dundee, Charlie Shipes in the corner would have been imploring him, don't let this guy start to dominate too much. Been people over the last 2 or 3 months think this fight shouldn't take place, think that George is putting himself in danger of real and serious injury. A lot of people inside the boxing business not happy with this fight, not happy with the prospect of a young unbeaten champion taking care of one of the sport's greats from the 70s, a man who'd been inactive for 18 months but had taken 10 years off. Big George just said, like he does, they're entitled to their opinion, they're wrong. In the last 2 rounds, he has been caught an awful lot. He's had to think, he's had to backtrack. Mora looking particularly sharp and comfortable. What's more, Mora's looking comfortable, and that's the key, as Teddy Atlas has said. The short right uppercut, the short right hook, those are the punches that are working for Mora, and that's because he's close, he's inside, and he's just too fast for Big George. George lost a couple of world title fights since he has come back. Lost on points to Evander Holyfield back in 1991. And then last year, about 8 odd months ago, lost to Tommy Morrison here in Vegas. Again, a points decision. Being put under pressure in this fight. Mora determined to stop him, to become the first man to stop him since Muhammad Ali, that hot and monumental night next to the Congo. There's the final 10 for the 4th round. George breathing heavy, having to suck it up. Still dangerous with the right there. You saw that right hand at the end of the round there. Still landed stiffly. Still feeling the force of it. George Foreman looking to turn back the clocks and regain the heavyweight title. This Howard Letterman scorecard. He's gone Michael Moorer first four. The first two were closer, certainly no argument with the last two rounds. Howard, a good judge. Teddy Atlas, you heard him there. We've heard him from the end of round one. Get away from his right hand. And that's the simple advice from Charlie Shipes there. You don't need to talk too much to George Foreman. He's heard it all before.
To the side, okay?
Jab, jab, be first to the jab. Round 5 here, IBF, WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World. George Foreman looking to turn back the clocks. Michael Moorer looking to send into retirement George Foreman. We're at the MGM Grand Garden at the MGM Casino on the end of the strip. The strip now reaching the airport. The third man tonight, Joe Cortez, but he's been an invisible member of this fight. Moorer just a bit busier, just a bit sharper. George still looks like he has the power though. Still looks like he's there. Best round so far, best start to a round so far from Foreman. Those big right hands, if they're whacking you around the elbows or the body, that means you're doing nothing. That means he's controlling, that means he's dominating. Big cumbersome left hook, but managed to push Foreman. Once again, Moorer, that short southpaw right uppercut and right uppercut lead. They're good punches. George's face slightly swollen. Slight swelling on the left eye, around the left eye, left cheek, and that's because one or two of those right hooks have been getting through. Full flush. That's the shot that Big Angelo and Charlie Shipes in Foreman's corner wants, the big right hand. It's also the shot that Teddy Atlas in Moorer's corner doesn't want to see. Foreman knows he needs to keep the pressure on, knows he needs to keep pumping that jab out. He doesn't need Angelo Dundee to tell him that. He knows. He reads the fight, George Foreman, after all these years and all these fights, probably better than any fighter active. Trying a body shot. Joe Cortez finally having to warn somebody. Foreman, don't hit him in the back. It was just a grazing shot, Joe, but thanks for your contribution this evening. That's a sharp jab. That's what Foreman seems to have no reply to, no answer to. If Moorer's sticking the jab out and it's two jabs and then a fast left cross, George has got no defense against it. Big George seemingly breathing very, very heavy. But still fighting at a pace that I'm sure he feels comfortable of. His 30th fight at the comeback. Good shots. The jabs from Foreman, the big pouring jabs, they keep Moorer off guard. They're keeping Michael on his back foot. Michael's only effective if he can slip inside and land faster punches like the jab. It's another Moorer round, but Foreman's still there. Still looking to unleash that right hand. Still looking to pull the younger man. 19 years younger, still looking to pull him round onto the right hand.
I'm not going to have any rounds like the round before that. You hear me? Do you hear me?
That's Atlas.
That was a much better round. I expect at least that. All right? All right.
Can we give it to him?
Yeah, take a little water.
N-swell will go on the eye.
Now
that's the metal objects you can see there.
There's no reason for this guy to touch you once in a while, is there? You get off first. It's very simple. I'm going to bring you back to boxing basics. You get off first, either step out or move to the side.
I'm going to bring you back to boxing basics. There's some of the replays. Classic Michael Moorer countering a slow George Foreman lunge with his own right hand.
All right, seconds out.
That's a good shot. George got no reply in the second one, just for good measure. Michael's in front, but George is still there. 12-round championship fight. We're in the 6th round. We're closing in on the halfway stage. There were many in the fight business who didn't believe that 45-year-old George Foreman would reach 6 rounds. There were many that were concerned for his health. Many that said this fight should not be taking place. George Foreman was not one of the doubters. Crowd shouting Big George's name. They've loved and lived through this comeback. Since 1987, slowly working his way up to title fights, championship fights, and a place back inside the hearts and minds of all sports fans, not just in America, not just in Vegas, but worldwide. That's a short, stunning little uppercut there from George Foreman. Mora took it well, but it was a short concussive punch, and he's thrown it again. Now, if Foreman's throwing the same shot twice, that means he knows it works. That means he knows it hurts. Pace just quickened here, or is it just that Foreman suddenly forcing it slightly more, making Mora work more just to try and keep off this giant, this Goliath, this colossus of heavyweight boxing, a man with a foot in several decades. There's the uppercut again, 3 uppercuts, hasn't thrown one for 5 rounds and has thrown 3 short right uppercuts in this, the 6th round. I sense that Michael Mora will be getting the facts of life and Teddy Atlas in about 80-odd seconds time. Big George, that's a jarring right hand. Mora took it on, it's another right hand and a great comeback jab and a superb short right uppercut there from Michael Mora, followed by a right hook. But George is coming forward, right cross, left hook. It's the 6th round of the fight that most people didn't expect to go 6 rounds. George over the front foot, going forward, Mora battling desperately to try and push him back. You can't push a bulk like that backwards if he's coming at you throwing punches. The best thing you can do is not get caught. Mora's not doing very well at that. Another jarring right hand. Mora battling back with his own jabs. Foreman another right hand. It's the best round so far. Crushing right hook there from Mora, forcing Foreman to blink. Just the speed of the punches hitting, bouncing off George's bald head. But it's Foreman that scored with the better punches in this round. And there's still 30 seconds left. A fantastic short right hook. 1 or 2 groans at ringside. 1 or 2 people trying to justify their belief that this fight should never have taken place. But make no mistake, 45-year-old George Foreman is in there trading with the IBF and the WBA heavyweight champion of the world. 19 years, he's senior, but still in there throwing punches, still in there contesting it. That was a sensational round, a fantastic round of boxing. And Atlas is pleased. Charlie Shipes looked happy enough. Very good, says Charlie.
You look close and throw some combination. Move to the right. See, every time we move over to the right, every time we move to the right, he's throwing that uppercut.
There's Charlie whispering to see the mic doesn't pick up his instructions, and then George just turning away saying, I can't hear you, Charlie.
You know, to the right a little bit. Get away from that right hand.
And there's Angelo saying to George, get away from the right hand. You move away from the right hand this time.
Go right hand, he just go the other way to the right.
There's no reason, give him some water. There's no reason for you to stand there and let him find you. Either step out or move to the side, all right?
But don't stand there.
And once you're in, work. Once you're in, work, because you're safe once you're in.
Sensible advice, and that's what I'd expect from Teddy Atlas. But sometimes it's easier to give the advice than it is to put it into practice. All very well saying don't stand there, but if that man's coming after you, if he's forcing his bolt right down your throat and throwing punches, he's coming at you. It's not as easy to just walk away. It's not like going for a stroll in the park. When George Foreman chases you down, you know you want to be good to get out of the way, get out of harm's reach. George, they're chanting. They liked that last round. Not sure if George won the round, but they liked it, the fans liked it. Foreman now having the same instructions as Mora's got. Get out of the way of the right hand. Because it doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how much of a legend you are, living, breathing, walking, talking, plodding legend. You get hit often enough by the right hand, by that right hook, and you're going to be in trouble. That big right hand, George doesn't just put the arm, he puts the shoulder, then he puts the bulk into it. If that hits you anywhere, it's going to hurt you. More with strict instructions not to leave himself there after he's thrown shots. Oh, a crushing shot somewhere to the midsection there from Big George. Everybody saw that coming inside the MGM Grand Garden except for the man in the ring, Michael Moorer. Another one coming, I can sense it. You can just sense with Big George when he lets the right go. He drops it slightly, shows you it's coming, and then he drops it in. Lovely shot. Moorer's busier. But that right hand still dictating bizarrely the rounds. That's the punch Moorer has to avoid. He did there. Ducked underneath, came back with his own straight left from the back foot, but it didn't. George managed to parry it somewhere. Still sent the sweats flying from his bald head. Moorer's jab has been winning the fights for Moorer. Both of George's eyes starting to swell. Not closing, but starting to swell. It's Moorer's right eye that's had the attention, the end-swell attention. Big George, it's quite simple. Jab, drop the right hand. That's it. 1, 2, bish bosh. Great counter there. Foreman missed with 2. Moorer came back with 1. Could have then moved his feet or maybe thrown a second, didn't he? Left himself there and got caught. It's a great Michael Moorer jab. Educated, sensible jab. Manny Stewart worked for years on that inside the cronk. That's the jab. That's the jab that saw him to the light heavyweight championship of the world and saw him seamlessly make the transition from light heavyweight to heavyweight. He's the champion now. The man in the yellow, Moorer on his waistband. Mobo's heard the clappers, wants to get to that bell, get 60 seconds break. There's Big George. Big George looked at him, gave him a fairly scornful, dismissive look there. George doesn't like it when fighters
the last time you slowed it down a little bit, and I told you, right? You slowed it down there. I want to pick it up now. You hear me? We only have 15 minutes left.
There's no respite,
all right,
for Michael
Don't
Moorer.
make it 15 minutes at his pace. Remember
no
what
chance
I told you
of breathing.
about an old car, right? This is an old car. You're letting him go slow, he can make it down the road. You make him go faster, he's going to start to break down. All right, let's start making him go
sensible.
faster now.
Increase the pace.
You hear me?
And lose.
Listen to me. You're not going to have a real friendly corner. I'm proud of you, but you're not going to have a friendly corner if you keep letting him go slow. All right? You're going to make him go faster? All right.
Yes.
Now with your legs up on you. Hands behind.
That right hand's the only thing it's doing. Your jab is beautiful.
All right, seconds up.
Your jab is beautiful. Use it. When Angelo Dundee tells you that, you've got to listen, you've got to respond. We're poised here.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
We're round 8. Foreman's trailing, losing, but not out of the fight. Not getting the beating some people predicted. Not taking a career-ending battering at the red fists of Michael Moorer. There we go. The IBF WBA Heavyweight Championship of the world up for grabs here. The MGM Grand Garden, Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of boxing, Las Vegas. And if this is the home, then this is the living room. The MGM Grand Garden. Use the jab, it's beautiful, Angelo Dundee had said. And so is that right hand. Michael Moorer staggered back. That's the first time Moorer's been forced back, and another right hand. He seems stuck on the ropes there, momentarily stunned. Not hurt, but certainly stuck on the ropes. Then called Foreman in. That's a disastrous thing to do. Big George will like that, toe-to-toe, swinging, trading, short distances, as long as he's got a bit of leverage on that big right hand. There it is, touch jab, big right hand, can't miss with it, doesn't like to miss with it. It's energy sapping. There's the right, it's hitting something. That's a fantastic short left cross from Moorer, wrong-footed, and sent Foreman stumbling, not hurt, just embarrassed slightly. Fantastic jabs from Michael Moorer, the younger man giving a masterclass in jabbing quality to the veteran. One of the heavyweight division's modern greats, a living, walking, breathing champion. Two great shots there A left cross and a right hook for the first time. Foreman had no reply, no comeback. He was hurt, he was stunned by those two punches. Those were big, hefty shots. Is this the point where Michael Moorer takes over? Is this the point where Michael Moorer makes all of the worst possible prophecies and predictions come true? Is this the fight? Is this going to be the round or a round or two where we see Foreman stopped and sent into a retirement? His legacy slightly tarnished. Will this be the round? Does Michael Moorer possess the power to hurt him? Yes, he does. Has Foreman got enough left in the tank to survive to the end? Well, most boxing fans, certainly most of the people inside the MGM Grand here, will want him to, will expect him to, and will be willing him on. It's the last 10 of the 8th round. That's busy punches. George hurt, stumbling slightly, made to miss, caught with big shots and seemingly having no reply. That was a massive Michael Moorer round.
You were stupid at the beginning, but you got smart at the end.
You were stupid at the beginning and you got smart at the end from Teddy Atlas.
All right, good.
Joe Cortez coming across there, slightly concerned. How are we going, George?
That's all I wanted to hear.
That's the start of the end sometimes when a referee comes across. Let's have a look at some of the action. There were big shots, uppercuts, short left crosses. Joe Cortez is concerned. I'm sure one or two other people are concerned. It's the 9th round, but throughout the 8th, Michael Moorer took target practice on that granddaddy, the big daddy of heavyweight boxing, Big George Foreman. It's the 9th. It's crucial that Foreman has a good round. Dundee trying to use a bit of kidology in the corner, trying to motivate his charge. Moorer emboldened by what he heard. For the first time, Foreman holds, and it's a good tactic. He's got the bulk, he's got the size. And if he's holding Moorer's arms, guess what? Moorer's not hitting him. And in the 8th round, Moorer did hit him a lot. Same shot, right uppercut, then turned into a right hook. George has had no reply to that, no defense against that shot all through the fight. There's the Foreman trademark double jab right hand. He needs to keep bringing that right hand across. He used the right uppercut a few rounds earlier. That seemed to work, seemed to pierce through the Moorer guard. Big George needs to somehow prove people wrong. He needs to get busier. Moorer dominating this fight. Some of the earlier rounds were closer. Some of the earlier rounds, Foreman seemed to be trading on a par, but the last few rounds, just that much faster Michael Moorer, just that much quicker to the punch and landing the punch, and also looking a lot more hurtful. Big George leaving his bulk, leaving his body there to be countered and to be caught with big shots. Look at the swelling under the left eye there from George. That's nothing much, it's been slowly swelling throughout the fight. That's from the southpaw right hook. Moorer picking, touching. People in Foreman's corner. Charlie Shipes there. More than one champ, more than one. That's absolutely right. He's got to throw more than one punch, George Foreman. He's got to push him back and try and bring the right hand or the right uppercut across. Bring it across with a bit of power. Easier said than done. George Foreman, 77th fight and a remarkable career. Olympic heavyweight champion 1968 in Mexico, world champion 1973 when he knocked out Joe Frazier, lost his world title 1974 to Muhammad Ali, and here we are so many years later, 1994. It's been a fairy tale in many ways. Tonight though, less a fairy tale, more a nightmare for Big George Foreman, being picked off, but still there, still landing the right hand, still landing the straight left, still looking to push Michael Moorer back and vary it from body to head. That's the end of the 9th round. Big George breathing in deeply.
You know where you are in the fight? Yeah, but you know what round? 3 rounds. All right. They pass quick. That means that's the amateur distance. Amateurs fight fast, don't they? Except for reaching in and being careless, I want to fight that way. A little faster for 3 rounds. Do you understand that very clearly? All right? Now look, when he's touching you with that jab, either snap the jab back at him or move to the side. Don't stay there because he's looking to set you up one shot. And then he'll open up a combination if he hits you. Now he's going to look for a spot here to steal the crowd and steal rounds. Keep a fast pace going, damn it. You hear me? Now pick it up and get into a rhythm.
He's going to look. Serious words there from Teddy Atlas. He's looking to set you up and then deliver one big punch. That's been George's modus operandi all night here. George looking rather sad there. All Mora has to do is avoid being pushed back and caught with a big right hand. That's what George has been looking to do. We're in the 10th round here at the MGM IBF WBA Heavyweight Championship. Michael Moore in the gold, shorts the champion. Big George Foreman on the left, trying to turn back time, stop time, and win the World Heavyweight Championship back. Good left hook to the body there from Foreman. Good jab from Foreman this round, stiff jab. Michael Moore told to be fast and not be in range. He's not either of those in range, and he's boxing slow. Teddy Atlas will not be happy at the end of this round. Foreman getting closer. Good shot, good left hook, good clubbing left hook. George knows there's just 3 rounds left. He knows he needs something special to change the course of history and become the oldest man to ever win a World Heavyweight Championship. Eyes closing, face puffy, heart remaining determined. That right hand still remaining powerful, ominously powerful. Good short, big looming left hook there. Those are good left hooks from Foreman. Ooh, he's looking for that big left hook. 3rd or 4th time on the rod. Good right hand. Could just be trying to pull the hand away to leave more space for the right hand to go through. That's a simple tactic. Foreman, powerful, big round. Best round so far for George Foreman, I think. Good jabs. Michael Moore needs to go back to working. That's it! It's a short right hand! There is no way he's getting up from that. That is the face of shock and awe there. Joe Cortez finishes the count of 10. George Foreman looks up at the heavens. He is once again down on his knees to pray. Michael Moore still on his knees, doesn't know where he is. Teddy Atlas as shocked as him. George Foreman is the new heavyweight champion of the world. 45 years of age in his 77th fight, having lost possibly 9 of the previous 9 rounds, all 9 of the rounds. He delivered a right hand. He started that round fast and he finished it with a superb right hand. Bob Arum in there giving him a kiss, a belated kiss. Michael Moore still uncertain what's happening. Stand up, Michael, says Teddy. Don't stand up. George still on his knees, praying, but that will also be exhaustion. What a shock. What a shocking turnaround. One of the all-time greatest upsets. That was the finish that nobody really predicted. That was the finish that Michael Moore had ruled out. That was the finish that George Foreman promised, and he delivered on it. What a night in Las Vegas. George Foreman is the heavyweight champion of the world again at 45 years of age.